Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya is actually very much a daydreamer. The thing is, he just makes sure that no one else knows that. No one needs to know what goes on through his mind, and what he thinks, and what his daydreams are. They must stay in there, unknown to everyone around, and completely ignored, because if they were brought to attention, he'd be gravely embarrassed. That's why when he accidentally calls you his wife, it's a whole big deal. The two of you have talked about living together, yes. You've graduated, and that was a whole thing, too. You were old enough to get married, sure, but it still feels too early. So when he says the word, he's afraid he may have broken something of sorts. He's scared he might have ruined the chance the two of you might ever marry, the chance of ever calling you his wife. So, it's indeed very important to him, and that's why his face is so red. That's why he's so ashamed and so shy. And he expects you to comment he doesn't know, but something that would break him, because this is how it would go. This is how it would always go in his mind. Instead, you blush and you smile, holding his hand gently. So, you've been thinking about it too. And those words may just as well have the power to revive him if you were dead. And it looks like the life has come back to his eyes, and he looks at you with a red face, matching your own. You mean, you've been wanting this? I have, Izu. I thought I made it pretty clear that I wanted to be with you forever. And I guess getting married was always a part of that. For me. But I never knew if you thought the same. You smile softly, hugging him. I guess now I do. And I'm happy that I do. I'm so lucky to have someone like you. And even though he doesn't say it out loud, not this time, he does know that he's the luckiest person in the world to have you around him. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki had no idea that he had felt such strong feelings before. He's felt them in his heart, yes, but he's never really realized the full extent of them. Until he started calling you his wife in his own head. His beloved future wife. Because you were getting married. Yes, you were. He was quite sure of it. I mean, everything was already in order. And you had picked the venue, and everything was supposed to happen. It was a reality. And all he had to do was wait for the day. The day that would change his life forever. Maybe not, because the two of you were already in love and would remain so after your marriage. And you are already living together, but it would change things, as he knows it now. And he can tell that for sure, even though the changes might not be obvious to everyone. They will be to him. And he's waiting, so impatiently. Impatient enough that he accidentally called you his wife while you were making breakfast. My darling wife, Mayan, I thank you for existing, for being here for me. He said, in the morning, at 7 a.m., he really started his job as being a sap and a lovely boyfriend early. You know, I love you, Shoto, but I'm not your wife. Yet. And he blushes, noticing what he had said. I really said that? Yes, you did, my adorable husband. You say softly, leaning in to press a soft kiss to his temple. Honestly, you've been wanting to call him your own husband too. So even if it's going to be between the two of you for now, you would totally indulge him in it. You loved him. You loved him so much. And to see that he was thinking of you in the same manner as you were him, It relieved you entirely from a lot of questions in your head and many doubts, and you were happy about that. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki is a lot less vulnerable with his own feelings. He doesn't try to bear them to you as much. So, when you call to his wife, it really means something. But it's really an accident. Because he didn't mean to do that. Not because he didn't want you to be his wife, but because, well, it's complicated. He just doesn't feel like he wants to call you that yet, out loud. Because it's so vulnerable. And he's not used to being so transparent with his own emotions. So the fact that he had let it out, it meant that he's been thinking about this for a while now. And you're surprised, just as much as he is, looking at you and staring at you. I didn't mean to say that, he whispered at last, realizing that he probably didn't want to say it out loud and you were feeling kind of strange about the word. But instead, he gets a smile. I think you should say it more. It sounds so good coming from you. You say softly, walking towards him and wrapping your arms around his waist, and he melts into your touch, bringing a hand to put it on the top of your head, letting it run across your hair. Well, I'm glad you call you that. If you'd want to be my own wife, I mean. Well, if you propose, and make a compelling proposal, I may think about it. Just take this seriously, Katsuki, you say with a laugh, and he finds himself laughing along. The tension in the air completely gone, and replaced with something else entirely. He loves you, and he knew that, but he never thought that this would come through. The whole being married thing, with him being so difficult. But to know he's been thinking it, that he's been wanting this, is something else entirely. And it makes that reality between the two of you very much plausible. And you want it more than anything, and now you know that it's very well within your reach, and you will do everything in your might to get there. And then, and only then, would you truly be his wife. And you were very patient. After all, you have waited years for this, and you're willing to wait a couple days more.